Hi everyone. I'm just trying a new camera setup because that shaking was really annoying me big time. What I wanted to talk about was a project I started the other day, and make sure I'm in frame there. Okay, so I went to the op shop. There was a special in the op shop, which is really funny, of 50% off books and magazines. And I went, oh good, I'll go and get some magazines because, you know, I'll have some things to collage with, and I'll get a couple of books so I can make journals, and you know, they often throw out those cheap, you know, they're cheap, the second-hand books that are old. No one even kind of wants them, maybe except for crafters. Yeah, so what I found was a couple of these Frankie magazines for $1.99, which took them down to half price. And I'm back. The phone rang in the middle. Note to self, turn off my notifications, etc. Put myself in aeroplane mode before doing that. Anyway, back to okay, so I found some Frankie magazines, and the thing is as a design magazine, the paper's really gorgeous. There's little extras that you can get with textured paper, like people's artwork, I mean. Beautiful. And so these are absolutely, anyway, I want to say something about making a journal out of a Frankie magazine. This is a modern magazine. In it are lots of articles by people, and there are works by photographers, and there is no way I would sell a journal that I've made from this, because these are people, quite some people I actually know, and I just want to honour the artists by not on-selling their works that are used in the journal. However, it's fabulous material because the paper's thick and the card for the cover is really good. So I just want to actually go through my journal that that I made. I started with, there's only basically 12 pages. It's not big. This is only like 1 centimetre. So what I did was I pulled out pages that I liked pictures of, and I put together 3 pages for one signature, and there's 4 signatures. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there's the start of the next signature. And I realised once I'd made it that 4 signatures were going to be really hard to put together. So I decided that I would sew 2 together and 2 together at the back, and then only have the two places into the spine. So that's why there's 2 holes here. Okay, so don't mind my messy bit here. I haven't covered that up yet. Still a work in progress, but mostly nearly finished. So what I want to go through is, this is my personal journal, so it's not being sold, and it was just me going, oh, this is boring having to stay home. What can I do today? So I've got little tuck spots and envelopes with writing areas, and I've utilised one. This is only one magazine. I've utilised pictures I like, pictures that made me feel happy, that, you know, gave me a sense of home, belonging, fun and play, with these little, I don't know if you can see them, there's a little photograph with the little, you know, the little snow cone thingies on a balcony, little tuck spots. I have a bit of a love of Africa and African stuff, so there was an article on blankets. Look at that, isn't that beautiful? So little tags with a bit of writing place, and and things like the envelope I made, this little tuck spot I made, some art, some of the beautiful work, and I wish I'd have written down this artist's name, but just gorgeous, gorgeous works. And I tried to put in the middle of each, I tried to put an article, something that I liked reading, something that I really enjoyed. And this is Anya Brunt's works where she makes faces on things. And what I did was, for the second page of her, it was a page of her photos of her work, I made it a little fold-in tuck spot, but when you open it out, can you see this or not very well? It's making it dark there. A little writing spot. You can write whatever you like. This was my own paper that you've had underneath things when you've been making something else can often end up with quite interesting printmaking designs, which I love. Okay. Right, so this is the same artist. Just beautiful. I just love the grain and the pastel-y colouring of it. So one thing I found with the Frankie magazine in particular was that because it's by design people, the continuity through the magazine is just gorgeous and beautiful, and often the colour palette blends all the way through. Well, not often, yeah, it just nearly always does, I think. A little card with some writing space. You can even still write on here, write on here. You can tuck in a couple more things if you want. So even these little pockets are all made from pictures and pages from the magazine, and just adds interest without having to make a collage. You've got a ready-made picture there. I keep having to see if you can see that. And there's another little writing spot. I haven't with this page, but I did try to cover up the advertising, because I know that the magazine needs the advertising to keep going, but I didn't always want names and things. I may in fact cover this with another little pocket or something later, and a little, that's just to remind me that grass, nature is beautiful. This actually came from my brother Steve and his wife, lovely wife Michelle, and it was from Japan, so it's kind of a cute little gift that they bought some stuff from Japan home in the paper bag, and I've made that into a little tuck spot, a little envelope with some writing paper. I think these were these might have been free printables, maybe from Nick the Booksmith, perhaps, I think. Okay, so here's another little tuck spot with some writing. So I made the little envelope. I love seeing that bit of beautiful mountain there and the clouds. And this is actually some of my favourite colours. There was a 3-page article on cactuses, so I kind of thought that they'd be good to put in as a way of either you can put your own writing over the top of it if you want to make something like this yourself, and you might just like looking at cactuses. The couple of pages on cactuses really just inspired me to think of another idea, which was wonderful. This was an Australian Ballet, I think, or Victorian Ballet ad, and I've just covered up the words so that it wasn't as wordy but more visual. I love text, but I also just love sometimes to stop the noise of the words. And my favourite little bee stamp, which is going to be in my bee journal. Okay, so this was something that probably would get to any crafter's heart or artist's heart. Lenka and Michael were going around writing these cute little notes and giving them to people. So I thought I'd like to honour that and just put a couple of them in here. This one was really funny. Dear Nicholas, we recently followed a trail of breadcrumbs through Paris. Here it is, love Lenka and Michael, and there's breadcrumbs in a little envelope. So, you know, it's humorous. It added a bit of humour to this journal. Yeah, so that's just a reminder that people do things around the world. People do things that are a bit quirky and a bit quaint and a bit cute, and they actually make people happy, which is kind of what's going on a bit at the moment. You know, the Italians singing from the balconies, and I was watching one YouTube of a Spanish guy with his keyboard out on his balcony. Things like that, really bringing people together at the moment. Okay, so I even, so this is from two different pictures. So, you know, you can have a little bit of play with, okay, that's sort of outside with some beautiful material, and then this is a bedroom setting. Why not put them together? Doesn't really matter, does it? You can do what you like. If it's your book, your journal, it's fine. These were from Nick the Booksmith, some little printables. Bit of writing. You could also put something here. You could make another little envelope or a pocket. Love this, just the crafting. The picture of the crafting. See what I mean? Like, it's just, hang on, have you got it? Yeah, all right there. The gorgeousness of the actual magazine to use when it's, I think these ones, what year? These ones are from like, can't see it. Well, it says this one's issue 66. I don't know. Can't see what year it is. Maybe inside there's a year. I cannot see it. The type is really tiny. I should have my glasses on. Oh well. Okay, so I've got a little postcard stamp that I've put there, but there's writing area here. More of these gorgeous cactuses, which, you know, they're actually advertising a jewellery range, but I just am so taken with cactuses. I love them. Or glasses, jewellery glasses. Oh, sorry, the person who did that article, I really didn't pay attention. Just the colours, colourful room, creativity, and I made a little tuck spot here out of these, and this is a collage, but on the back you've got the, you know, this one was, I'm just trying to think, tea or coffee. These might have been the beetroot stained ones, I think, because it's fairly light. The beetroot stain didn't work so well. My flatmate cooks up, she does her once every Sunday, she does her cook up, and she used the beetroot. She cooks up about 6 beetroots and cuts it up for the week, so she's done her food prep, and I thought I'd test out how does that go, making like a tea stain paper but with beetroot juice. But I don't think it was, it wasn't as good as I thought it would be. That looks alright, so I'm wondering if maybe I actually tea stained that. Could have, I don't know. It's just in my box. Some more of this beautiful, soft, pastel-y looking photography. There's the opposite, little tuck spot with the card. That definitely looks like I added tea bags to that, tea stained. Okay, now what's next? So also the other thing is it's not just adding your own little bits of art like that. It's, you know, there was a bit of an offcut from that previous page with the blankets. There was a picture of this girl with the, you know, the interesting textures on her shirt and that bright red, and just playing with the collage of it. A bit more cactus. more cactus. Yay, more cactus. And a little tuck spot. 2 little tuck spots with the flowers. And what I wanted to say about these particular tuck spots is that they've got writing, that's got the writing on the back. This one I put the paper over so there was just a line or so of text, and this has got, he's in love and this is the biggest day of his life. I don't need to ask anything more. And I thought that actually they were really good little journaling prompts, story writing prompts. This is, well, you haven't got the start and you haven't got the end, but she was flushed, excited, and something or other, quivering breath to her. Oh, it doesn't make perfect sense. It's not a perfect sentence. She was flushed, excited, and quivering breath to her terror something, and that is a prompt, so you can actually set you off on a little bit of a creative writing adventure, because isn't journaling about, what is journaling about? Journaling's about writing your thoughts, but it's also, to me, it's more than that. When I think of all the times I've travelled, the different journals I've made while I've travelled have always been about, you just get out, you get out of that logical, linear headspace, and you're just in that pure creativity. An idea comes, you might write it down, and it can be really crazy off the wall ideas, but when I look back I go, oh, some of those are actually, they sparked a artistic story or narrative from that. Another little quote, another one of the little notes from Lenka and Michael. You can, here's my little fly, that is, not a bee, but here you can use this beautiful gum tree picture, do some stamping, put a little note. That's actually out of the magazine. Then there's a little writing space, some more trees and greenery, which I love, to just really keep you close to nature wherever you are. It's kind of at this moment where we're all in a bit of a lockdown and isolation. It's, maybe you can't get out to the park. Maybe things like a picture like this is enough to just give you some joy for today. More cactus. Woohoo. More cactus. I don't know what I'm on about. Just a little card. I just like the wood and the greenery. Another little card with all the things hanging on the fence, and that's got a little writing spot. And it's also got words that could inspire you to do a little bit of writing as well. To be polite and obliging. We were quite alone together. Something or other, get any further. It's only something growing to be really a little fond. So you could actually be filling in those little spots and making up some of your own words, but they're just prompts for writing. Little article I actually want to read, and I just hadn't had time to, so I stuck it in. Collaging, once again, covering up. So I've used strips from the rest of the magazine that have just been parts that I've ripped off and inked around the edges, a bit more grass because there's always a bit more greenery. We can all have a bit more greenery. We can all have a bit more love. Woohoo! And right, a little pocket, made a little envelope with writing. Another bit of writing. Could write on this part, and that's the back. So I've also put little tuck spots in the front and the back, and covered it with Spotlight just had like 10 of these little quilting square, like 10 for $10 or something, and I just thought it's so nice being able to get your own material that you like in a colour you like. And I made my own little card. I've put my little smashed jelly stamp because that was sort of what I was called before I changed over to Christina Hicks Art _art. And yeah, so that's that. And I used the cover for the cover, so it's not waterproof, it's not full on heavy duty, it's just something that I particularly think is cute and love. So what I've done, just want to kind of give you a bit of an example. I wanted to use all of the magazine. I might make some presents for people. I'm not going to sell them. They're not really a sellable thing unless I consider that I've covered up everything in you know, everything that gives it away as belonging to that magazine. Here we have, I've just collected some. So this was the National Gallery of Victoria, sent out once a month a calendar of events, and I really liked this. This was an exhibition. I didn't actually get to see it. I was lucky to see Basquate before they shut the gallery for a time while the coronavirus was happening. So I think that with a lot of these, with the last journal, I kind of, all the pictures that I've made I loved. So now with the rest of the magazine, there's just all these pages with writing and stuff like that. So these are probably going to all be covered up. But I'll still leave things like this because that's gorgeous. So basically it was 3 bits of paper folded, and the size is basically, so you can do this with any magazine too. You can just adapt whatever magazine you particularly love. If it's old and you're just trying to do a bit of a clean out, basically the dimensions are that you take off 1.5 centimetres or 1.25, I think, centimetres from this end, and then they're all the same. I didn't manage to, because this was the first one I made, I wasn't paying too much attention. I was just in the moment and enjoying myself. So not all of the pages are all the same size and lining up. I don't particularly mind that, even though I do sometimes have the odd OCD moment. That didn't bother me. So I kind of have this time around been going through and making sure that I trim all of these off to the same height. So there's one that's just a bit bigger, so I can take that out and address that. And then what I do, once I've collected them all, so I might leave that, that's really nice, I'd leave that as something. And I'm now trying to put them all together to work out. I try to do a the third bit of paper in. I'm trying to do as something that's interesting, that is cohesive across the page. But that's where I'm at with this next lot. Just collecting pages so I can get a bit of a production line of presents going. And let me see, this was from the National Gallery, so that'll be, let's see, you know, that can be a bit of a collage, part of a collage. This one, really love the pictures, so this can be like the Where's my where is that? Where's the book? Here it is. This was like how I made this little tuck spot. I think that probably this would be cut into 4 to make a tuck spot. So that would make 4 tuck spots. And then you just put whatever you like. It's going to be interesting, with interesting pictures. Even this one could be a tuck spot like that. So it's all about play to me. What you know, what jumps out at you? What do you think? And sometimes I cut them out, going, oh, that's interesting. Maybe I don't want the words there, so I might actually, you know, cut along here and make that a tag with some writing paper on the back to stick into a pocket. Or sometimes I cut them out and I go, oh, I know I cut it out for that, but oh, maybe that picture's really interesting, and I'll use that instead. But that will depend on this one had a particular. I felt that this one had a particular theme for me. It was about things I really loved. I love a nicely designed room. I love nature. I love the greens of plants, and I love plants. And I love the concept of the support of your family and friends, and this reminds me of travel, and so do the little articles, the little letters to people. So this one was really, I know it was for me, so it was, that's why it has everything I love in it. I guess everyone's going to be different because, you know, we've done one thing. We want to do another one. We want to try something different, see what happens with that. And this one, I wanted the Angelica Houston Fan Club story. So this could actually be in the middle of the signature, like this, and then folded in as just a little flap. Or what I'll probably do will be to fold it down like that, glue that on there, and then have this as something that comes out that you can read. Although, having said that, I quite like this quote, so I'll work on something. I might just tuck it into a pocket. In fact, that's probably what I'll do. So, okay, so you've got the idea of how we're going to do the pages, because we will do this together. This will be, you know, it'll be, what are my words? My words are, it will be a couple of YouTube videos about how we make it. You know, cutting across here. I'm not going to make it right now. I just want to show you as I go through a magazine what maybe I might be using. This beautiful embroidery. You could be putting something over the top of that. Thanks, Frankie team. And this, the Marimekko with the beautiful designs across here. I would use some of this for collaging, especially this bit of greenery. Can you see that all right? Yeah. I haven't got shaky cam so much now. I've just got problem with the light. I'm going to get there. I'll get better. My main problem at the moment is actually uploading them. I've got one video uploading since 6 AM and it is now like 1 in the afternoon. Like, it's just, that's how long it takes in Australia. Crappy internet. And I've got unlimited. I don't have NBN though because I'm up the back of the block and apparently it won't make any difference. So yeah, here's, like, this would be a really good something I'd really like, that cute mustard colour. You would cover up, and then either choose maybe some of the quilting as part of your picture, or some of the dots, even the chair. I'm not sure. Whatever, you know, when you're making a book, you make what you want. It's your journal for you. So I think you're getting an idea. So that's a fabulous. Either that's a fabulous middle. To me, it's about visual beauty, colour, interest. Yeah, once again, it's that graininess. Once again, the mountains. This will remind me of Switzerland, which I'd love to go to one day, but I haven't. But anyway, rambling on there about Switzerland. So, get the idea. I'm going to end this now, and I'm going to let you gather your own materials, gather some magazines, pop into the op shop if you can get out and about. I actually think ours have just all closed, I think, here in Australia, but that doesn't mean you haven't got a whole heap of magazines sitting there waiting. So this will be the end of number 1, and next time maybe I'll work out how to get this camera set up without so much shaky cam over to where the light is better, and we'll do number 2, and we'll actually start to make the journals. So thanks everyone for watching and listening, and I hope you're staying safe and beautiful, and look after yourself and your loved ones.